Hello and welcome to Montjuic. It's match day 7 in La Liga EA Sports, and we're in the capital of Catalonia for a clash between Barcelona and Real Sociedad. It's the third home match of the season for the Blaugrana, but a first here in the Olympic Stadium. Their previous 2 games being played in their training complex as we await for the Camp Nou to be ready to host matches. A win this afternoon for Hansi Flick's side would see them move top of the table after yesterday's Madrid derby. Real Sociedad, for their part, looking to build on their first win of the season in midweek against Mallorca. History very much against the Basques, though. They've won just once away to Barcelona since 1991. I'm Phil Kitramalides. Sid Lowe alongside me for this one. Sid, it's a real chance today for Barcelona to capitalise on Real Madrid dropping points, but with players missing and Real Sociedad buoyant after their first win, could be a tough afternoon.
And of course with the Champions League coming up in midweek, and I think it's really important from Barcelona's point of view not to allow that to take their attention away from this game, because, as you say, it is an opportunity, and it's an opportunity that they'll be very, very concerned about not allowing to pass them by. I think you look at the side and I think you can see the presence of the Champions League game in this team. I think there have been some rotations thinking about that game. I think the fact that Lamine Yamal isn't going to get more than about 20-30 minutes, Hansi Flick said pre-game, is partly about what's coming up, and also partly about the fact that, of course, he's come off the back of missing 4 games, during which time they've actually got very good results indeed.
Especially at home. The last 2 home games, which were played at the Estadio Johan Cruyff, a 3-0 victory against Getafe, a 6-0 thrashing Valencia as well. We're back here at Montjuic, though, a familiar place for Barcelona players and fans over the last 2 seasons playing their home matches here. In theory, they weren't supposed to play here again, but here we are once more. We will see when the Camp Nou is ready. They've made sure that Montjuic is okay to host matches. They were relaying the pitch this week.
Well, that's the thing. They hope it's ready for this. I mean, it is ready in the sense that the game is going to be played. The fans are in there. Everything's been fine from that point of view. The game was moved forward from a 9 o'clock kickoff because of celebrations in the city, up on Montjuic Hill for the Mercé festival in the city. And Hansi Flick said that the pitches are being relayed. He said, I've seen some photographs of it and it looks all right. Of course, there's a big difference between how it looks and how it plays. So I'm sure Barcelona will be very conscious and very hopeful that it's in good condition.
There is a very different feel to playing here and playing at the Estadio Johan Cruyff. Capacity 6,000. The last game against Getafe, there was 5,700 people inside the stadium. It is going to be close to full this afternoon at Montjuic. 50,000 capacity. It's not the nicest afternoon in terms of weather in Barcelona. A little bit overcast, the threat of some showers, some wind as well, but I think these fans, they wanted to come and see Barcelona play today.
Well, because they're brilliant to watch, and I think one of the big successes of Barcelona last season was that despite playing at Montjuic, and at the beginning of the season it felt a little bit like it wasn't going to work in terms of atmosphere. It's not a football stadium, of course, there's a running track and so on in the way. But actually, I think partly because of the way they play, partly because of that sense of kind of enjoying, if you like, the unusualness of playing at Montjuic, it actually turned out to be a pretty big success, and obviously above all else, because Barcelona won the league and the cup double.
Let's hear the sound of Montjuic for the first time this season as the Barcelona fans welcome their players onto the pitch. Incentive, of course, knowing that if they win today, they will go top of the table. They dropped points earlier in the season, drawing at Rayo Vallecano. That has been their only blip so far, looking to take advantage of Real Madrid losing the Madrid derby yesterday and overtake their bitter rivals. They would go a point clear of Real Madrid with a victory. Real Sociedad currently in 16th place in the table. It has been a disappointing start for them, but that victory against Mallorca in midweek has given them hope. Let's take you through the starting 11s then, starting with Barcelona. 6 changes to the side that won 3-1 at Oviedo on Thursday. Joan Garcia's injury means a first appearance of the season for Wojciech Szczesny, and there is a debut for 17-year-old Dro Fernandez in midfield. Yes, Sid, they've got another 17-year-old wonder kid.
It's extraordinary. You've got both Joe Fernandez and of course, you've got Rooney Bardi playing it down. Bardi's a bit different in that he's a signing. 17-year-old Joe, 19-year-old Bardi. Look at the bench, by the way. You ready for this on the bench? One 17-year-old, 5 18-year-olds, a 19-year-old and a 22-year-old. A whole load of players on the bench, and unless I'm mistaken going through the list, every single one of them an academy product.
Let's take you through the Real Sociedad starting 11. There are 5 changes from the team that beat Mallorca. There was a late change. John Aramburu was supposed to start at right back, but he's dropped out of the starting 11. Instead, Alvaro Odriozola, the former Real Madrid right back, starts. It's his first league start since the 16th of May, 2024. This is one of those teenagers you were talking about on the Barcelona bench this afternoon, Lamine Yamal, who also happens to be the Copa Trophy winner, the best young player in Europe.
For the second year in a row, and of course finished second in the Ballon d'Or. And to finish second in the Ballon d'Or at 18 is extraordinary. I know it feels a little bit like we labour this point because everything that Lamine Yamal has done over the last few years has been extraordinary. We first started by saying, and he's only 16, and he's only 17, he's still only 18, and I genuinely think he is very close to being the best player in the world now.
Before kick-off, we'll have a moment's silence to remember Ernst Zirinos and Jose Arakistain. Linos, a former FC Barcelona member of staff, long-standing member of staff, and Jose Arakistain, former player of Real Sociedad. So we're just about ready then for kick-off here at Montjuic. They were calling it the Magic Mountain last season, up here on the hill of Montjuic. Special things happened. Certainly plenty of entertainment, goals, thrilling skills, but also chances for opponents as well, goals at both ends. And let's see how much entertainment we get this afternoon. A lot of eyes on Barcelona's number 27, Joe Fernandez, making his debut. Barcelona kicking things off at Montjuic from right to left in this first half. As we said, history very much against Real Sociedad. Their only win since 1991 away to Barcelona actually came in 2023. So relatively recent, but this has not been a fixture in which Real Sociedad have caused Barcelona too many problems.
No, they've been very difficult at Anoeta, but away in Barcelona they've had real difficulties to really cause, as you say, any problems at all.
Immediately, because Rashford causing some problems. John Gorachategui putting it behind for an early corner.
We were talking about that Barcelona team and how many youth teams there are on the bench, the entire bench. The starting 11 of Real Sociedad today, 8 academy products in it. They're a huge success story who perhaps don't always get the attention they deserve because of the success of bringing through kids at Barcelona and particularly at Athletic Club Bilbao, of course. And I think at times that serves to slightly eclipse the phenomenal work they do at Zubieta, the training ground where Real Sociedad train and where all of their youth team players play.
There are 14 youth academy players and products in the Real Sociedad first team squad this season. Only the team up the road in Bilbao have more. So it is certainly something that Real Sociedad have focused on, bringing players through. And of course, Imanol Alguacil, the former manager, was the manager of the B team. And now Sergio Francisco, who's been promoted, was also the manager of the B team. So they will know the youth academy very, very well.
They will need to as well. I mean, they're very conscious, I think, Real Sociedad, of that for this to continue to be successful, they need to be able to develop players, sell them. Not necessarily sell the ones that have come through the youth system, although obviously a lot of those will go as well. The latest of those being Martin Zubimendi, who went to Arsenal in the summer. But then to have the faith and the trust in the youth system, producing players that can then replace them. And one of the things that has been so seamless over the last few years with Imanol has been that whenever young players have come into the team, they've responded. They really need them to this year. I think they're a little bit weaker than they've been in previous years.
Here's Pedri. The only player now, Pedri, who started every game for Barcelona this season. Eric Garcia and Ferran Torres and Joan Garcia had all started the first 6 league matches. Pedri continues. Here is Dro. Dispossessed in midfield. Foul drawn. Rientes disagreeing with that call.
And Pedro Fernandez has been possibly slightly overlooked because of the